Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes testing out new palette releases, new collections, and I have been impatiently waiting for this to arrive on my doorstep because I purchased almost the entire collection. I did skip out on some of the lippies, the makeup bags, some of the more PR type of things, but I did purchase both eyeshadow palettes, the blush palette, the lip oil, and the candle. Glamlite's Nightmare on Elm Street collection. I'm so excited about this. I knew I had to have both palettes because the color stories are so unique. I needed the blush palette, I wanted the candle, and their first release of lip oil. So I'm really excited to test all of this out with you today. We're actually going to be doing two eye looks. We're going to be using two of the blushes, and the first thing we're gonna do is smell the candle and put on the lip oil. So if you're excited, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, your bell notification is turned on, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I will link the Glamlite collection down below for you. Last time I checked, all of it was available and even some of it was on sale. And you can use the code KHMakeup to get an additional discount on the collection. So I'll put everything down below for you, as well as my favorite beauty subscription boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video if you would like to recreate this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let's dive into the Glamlite Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Like I said, the first thing I want to do is smell this candle. I'm going to insert lots of close-up images and B-roll for you guys, but this is the Friday the 13th Camp Crystal Lake candle. It says, create a chilling, welcoming at home with our Welcome to Camp Blood candle, made from the highest quality soy wax and a fresh scent of cherry woods. Now, it's very heavy, it's very weighted, it's very nice quality. The outside packaging is really nice, and the candle itself, like I said, is very weighted. And it smells amazing. It definitely smells cherry, but then you get that freshness. You know, like if you were outside, that outside fresh, crisp air. It's incredible. I cannot wait to burn this. I'm actually going to get this burning right now in my office because it smells incredible. And then new to Glamlite are their lip oils. This is their first lip oil release. Again, the packaging is really nice. It has the claw hand on the front, a little black image of Freddy on the packaging. And then the component is really cute. It has blood dripping and it is a red lip oil. Now, when I swatched it, it's definitely clear with maybe a little bit of a pink undertone, and it swatched really nicely. So I have nothing on my lips, and I feel like we should just go ahead and test this out now. We can always reapply it again after we've done the eye look. Wow, that feels amazing. So you can see that there's really no color. I mean, like I said, the slightest little pink tint, but it's very glossy. This feels really nice on the lips. It is not sticky at all. I don't taste anything. It doesn't have any scent. I do kind of wish it had that same scent as the candle. That would have been a nice addition, but there's no scent at all. And like I said, just a nice glossy lip with a little bit of pink. I really like this. I'm a big lip oil lover, so I'm excited to see Glamlite release lip oil. So first up is the Freddy Krueger palette. I love that it has that whole shifty front cover. It shifts from Freddy Krueger palette to a Nightmare on Elm Street and Glamlite. There is a mirror in the palette, and this color story, whew, as soon as I saw it, I was like, bring this to mama. It is so beautiful. It is so grungy green. I love that there is some inclusion of some teals. We have 5 shimmers and 5 mattes. I love that we have light, mid-tone, and deep mattes. We have light, mid-tone, and deep shimmers. This is going to create just the perfect green look, that very grungy green. And then again, pop in some of those teals for some added fun. I am so excited about this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Dream Master palette. Again, the cover shifts from Nightmare on Elm Street to Never Sleep Again. And the inside of this, absolutely beautiful, has a red backing, again, also has a mirror. And this is very much a red toned palette, which I like. Let me tell you, when I swatched that silver, whoo, she is gorgeous. She is silver. I was really excited about that. I love that the reds swatch differently. Some of them are a little bit more pinky, some of them are a little bit more red. And then we have this really fun shade, Don't Fall Asleep. That is a dark purple eggplant matte with shimmer, but the shimmer just kind of sparkles. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this kind of gray blue shimmer. This is a beautiful cool tone palette. And this is something you could also use for the holidays. In fact, we're going to use this palette today, and I'm going to create a little bit more holiday leaning look because I'm about to decorate my house for Christmas. So I'm going to utilize this palette for a little bit more holiday, but this would be great for Valentine's Day. I mean, don't discriminate against eyeshadow. You can wear reds all year long, but this is so beautiful. I cannot wait to put it on my eye. And then lastly, that I picked up from the collection is the Chest of Souls Blush Trio. Again, it does shift and says Nightmare on Elm Street. I like the rounded packaging of it. There is a nice mirror in the palette, and all three pans are embossed, and I love these colors. I love that we have a salmony pink. We have a freaking bright pink, which I love. And then this red, ooh, I can't wait to use that red with the red eyeshadow palette. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Again, I love the packaging. I love the rounded edges. It's small, it's compact, but she's mighty, and I can't wait to test it out. So that's everything I picked up from the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Like I said, I want to use the red leaning palette today. I really want to create a red look using the red blush. We've got the red lip oil. So let me zoom you in and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, is prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I always use an eyeshadow primer. It prevents creasing and also just keeps my shimmers and shadow in place all day. So let's play with the Dream Master palette. I want to, like I said, create kind of a holiday vibe. I want to utilize some of the reds, but I also want to utilize the grays, the silvers, the burgundies. I want to try to test out as many shadows as we can. So I'm going to pick up the reddish shade in the palette called Midnight. I'm going to pick that up on a little bit more dense, fluffy brush, and I'm going to start with putting that in my crease. Now I chose a smaller fluffy brush because I just want to focus that red in the crease because I want to buff that out with a little bit lighter shade. So I'm going to just tap and then with a windshield wiper motion, just stay right in the crease, trying not to go above the crease. And like I said, we'll blend that out with a lighter shade. This is really pretty. I really like this. I was expecting it to be a true red, kind of like my mirror, but you can see that it's a little bit more of a berry red. I will say I wish it was a little bit more true red, but it's going to pair really nicely with the other mattes and shimmers in the palette. I was just hoping for that quintessential true red. And then I'm going to pick up this pink shade called Chest of Souls, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to line right above the red. So I'm kind of drawing a line, and then I'm going to buff that out. And that I am, of course, taking above the crease and just blending it in with our really pretty red shade. I will also say that I wish that there was a lighter matte in this palette. This pink one is the lightest one, the one I used to blend, and it's still a pretty deep matte. It's more of a mid-tone matte. I wish we had a lighter pink or even a white or a bone colored matte that we could use to blend and diffuse a little bit. That's definitely something I wish they would have included. Now with an angled brush, I'm picking up that matte with shimmer Don't Fall Asleep. Ooh, it was so beautiful swatch. And I'm going to just put that in the outer corner to add some depth. Holy moly, is that pigmented. Wow, that is pigmented, and I am getting a tiny bit of fallout. So make sure that you tap your brush or do your eyes before your base. Oh my gosh, I only had to go into that shade once to do both my eyes. That shade is so pretty though. I'm not seeing a lot of the sparkle come through, which I'm not mad about. I mean, I'm using it as a matte outer corner, so I don't care too much about sparkle, but it is so bold and pigmented. I mean, like I said, I went in once for both eyes. And then I'm just kind of using that big fluffy brush that we use for the crease just to kind of diffuse that out and just blend the edges. Now that layered beautifully with the red and the pink. I mean, absolute absolutely beautifully. Now I'm going to pick up this matte Terror, which is the purpley burgundy kind of mid-tone matte, and I'm picking that up on a flat brush, and I'm going to fill my lid in with that matte. And I know you might be wondering, what about the shimmer? We're still gonna do shimmers, but I do actually wanna fill my lid in with that shade. Right now we're rocking an all matte look, but I promise we're gonna add a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue, as always, my all-time favorite, and I'm going to just tap that right over that matte and just across my lid, staying away from the outer corner. I do wanna leave that deep and dark. And then I want to test out my finger and a brush with the shimmers. Now we're kind of limited on shimmers in this palette compared to the other one. That one had 5 and 5. This one we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes. And then we have that really pretty matte with shimmer. So I think what I want to do is on my lid, I'm going to use the silver shade. I can't help it. I mean, that shade is so pretty. It's swatched so beautifully. And I'm going to layer that right on top of that matte that we put right on the lid. Wow, that is so pretty. Now I'm just tapping that right where I placed the matte, not going above the matte and not moving into the outer corner. Wow, that is so beautiful. This is probably, in my honest opinion, the prettiest silver I have in my collection. And I have some really nice ones. The Teresa is Dead in her Lethal palette is really nice as well, but this one, man, oh man, it is just absolutely incredibly beautiful. And then picking up the pink shimmer, the light pink shimmer called Nightmare, I'm going to pick that up on a brush because I want to test out brush application. And I'm going to put that right here in the corner, the inner corner, right next to the silver. Now that shade I don't love. This shimmer I don't love. I'm not really getting any payoff with this shimmer. I mean, really no payoff at all. Let me try it with my finger. I don't like it. I don't like this shimmer at all. It's not very pretty. Yeah, I'm really not getting any payoff. With a brush, with my finger, I'd be better off just putting that really pretty silver all over my lid, but I am going to continue to kind of pick it up on a brush, maybe just get through that top layer of a new palette, and maybe I'll get a little bit more color payoff, but I just want to focus that on the inner corner of my lid, and then moving a little bit over to where I would put an inner corner highlight. I don't love it. I don't love that shimmer. I don't love it. I love the silver. I don't love that shimmer. Now maybe on its own, not layered on a matte, it would get a little bit more opaque, but so far it's not really my favorite in the palette. But I also want to test out the dark gray shimmer called Nancy. So I'm going to pick that up on that same brush because I still want to test brush formula. And I'm going to put that right on the outer portion of the silver and kind of bringing that over onto that deep matte. That shade. I really, really like that shade. And then I'm just going to pull that up into the crease a little bit. You can see I'm adding that right above the other shimmers just to add that little bit of depth. For the lower lash line, I've got to go back into Don't Fall Asleep, that really pretty matte with shimmer. Definitely tapping my brush off because we got some fallout last time, and I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. I barely picked up any shadow. I mean, barely, because it's so opaque, which I'm not mad about. And then going over that with that really pretty silver. I mean, I really love this silver. That's definitely the star of the show in this palette. And I'm just going to buff that right on top. You know I love a good shimmery lower lash line. And there is the completed eye look. Let me go ahead and apply some liner, some mascara, and then we'll do our blush with the palette, and we're gonna use a Glamlite highlight palette, and I'm going to pop one of the highlighters in my inner corner because there's really no inner corner highlight unless I went with the silver, but I don't wanna take away from the impact it's making on my lid, so we'll go ahead and use one of the highlights as our inner corner. I added liner and mascara, and we're ready to do our blush. I've got to use the red. I've got to use the red blush with this red leaning look with this red palette. So I'm going to pick that up on my blush brush. Ooh, I see lots of payoff. And I'm going to tap that on. Whoa, she is pigmented. Okay. Okay, Glamlite. Wow. Isn't that pretty? That is so beautiful. This blush would be stunning on a deeper skin tone. Absolutely stunning. I mean, it's perfect for me. I would say that I'm a medium light skin tone, but it's so pretty. Pop a little across my nose, little on my forehead. I love it. This is so pretty. I mean, really any of these blushes would pair beautifully with this palette, with the green leaning palette, but I really love this red. It's a blush I don't have in my collection. And then for highlight, we're actually going to use the Glamlite Rick and Morty highlighter trio. I love this. I love, love, love this. And I'm going to use the shade Harmony, which is a little bit more of a pink leaning highlight. These highlighters are so beautiful. They're so shifty and sparkly. So fun. It just adds just that little extra pop of pink that just pairs beautifully with the eye look, and it looks really nice on top of this blush. So pretty. I love this highlight palette. I love a good, bold, sparkly highlight. And I always do it on my nose, a little on my forehead, and my Cupid's bow. And then lastly, we don't have an inner corner highlight, and I kind of want to pull in the blue highlighter. Underrated. It's kind of a blue purple. I think it would pair really pretty with the silver, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. Oh yeah, that's everything I wanted. So again, I used the Rick and Morty highlighter trio. For my highlight, I did Harmony, and for my inner corner highlight, I did the shade Uncharted, and I really love it. It's so pretty. Let me go ahead and set my face and zoom you out. So here is the final look for today. We're rocking the Christmas shirt, the Christmas earrings. I love my look. I absolutely love it. I have some thoughts on the palette, but before I share my thoughts on that palette and the overall collection, let's jump into look number 2 using the Freddy Krueger palette. So let's create a look today with the Freddy Krueger palette, which is the really fun kind of grungy green. I'm so excited for this. I have already put on the lip oil. I have that on. I have been loving it. I wore it all day yesterday. It is amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I get asked a lot if I set my eye primer. I do not. I just put it on and then tap it out with my finger just to make sure that there is no creasing. And I'm so excited for this. This one, unlike the red palette, I feel like it has a little bit more depth ratios in the matte. So we do have a lighter, some mid-tone, some deeper mattes, and then I must use these fun teal shimmer. So we're going to go ahead and start with the shade Elm Street, which is the lightest green matte. I'm going to pick that up on my fluffy brush, and I'm going to focus that in my crease. And because I do have hooded eyes, I am going to pull that up a little bit above my crease as well, just because that way when my eyes are open, you'll still be able to see that really pretty green shade called Elm Street. So this went on beautifully. It blended out beautifully as well. It is very opaque, but it's also very buildable and very blendable. And in my opinion, this is a great transition shade. It's not super light, but it's not really deep. And it's just going to give you a really nice base for the rest of your matte shadows. And then I plan on using this same shade to blend out the edges once I finish with my eye look. I love that. That is so, so pretty. Now I'm going to pick up this grungy olivey green shade called Maniac, and I'm picking that up on a little bit more dense fluffy brush, and I'm going to just put that right in my crease. Wow, that is pigmented and really, really pretty. And I'm going to just buff that windshield wiper motion just in my crease, not going above my crease, because I want Elm Street to stick out nicely above this shade. This shade is really pigmented. A little bit of this goes a very, very long way. I really like this grungy green with Elm Street. It's such a nice combination. Back into Elm Street with that same kind of fluffier brush. Again, I'm going to use that and just diffuse those edges. I love that. I mean, I love a green eyeshadow in general, but this is really nice. Now for the outer corner, I'm not gonna use the black. I used the black in the other palette. I'm actually going to use the deep green shade called Asylum. This is the most beautiful forest green shade. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to pack that on the outer corner, right where I would put my black shadow or my deepest shadow. I love this color. This is my all-time favorite matte in this palette. I don't have anything this color. I mean, I have a lot of green eyeshadow, but nothing this deep foresty green. I mean, deep like the night. It's kind of a mix between a forest green and a black even. It is so pretty. It's so pigmented. So pigmented, I'm not getting any fallout even, and it's layering beautifully over two other mattes. And then with that same fluffy brush that we had Elm Street, I'm just going to quickly just blend those edges. Using my NYX glitter glue, as always, I'm going to tap this on my lid. I love NYX glitter glue. It's affordable, and in my opinion, it is the best base for shimmer. There's so many beautiful shimmers in this palette. I mean, this one, and this one are speaking right to me. This one is so deep and dark. It has a black base with a teal shift. It's so pretty. But I think I'm going to start with the shade Vengeance. Look at how pretty that is. And I'm going to pick that up on my finger, again, finger application and brush application to test out the formula. And I'm going to pat this on the outer 3/4 of my lid. Ooh. That's so pretty. It's kind of like an army green. Wow. It's really similar to my outer corner shade, that deep dark matte that I love. This is kind of the shimmer version of that. And it's stunning. And I 100% have to use this shade Boiler Room. So I'm going to pick that one up on kind of a flat brush, similar to the one we used for our eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to tap that on the inner corner. Oh my, that is absolutely incredibly beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Look how pretty that is. That is like all my dreams come true in a green shimmer. And then this really pretty shade here called Coming For You. This is kind of a taupey green. I'm going to pick that up on the other side of that flat brush, and I'm going to just put that in the middle. Oh wow, that is really pretty too. Gosh, these shimmers, I mean, I'm not at all surprised. Glamlite makes some absolutely incredible shimmers, but these are spectacular. And then I'm going to use the light shimmer, the lightest one in the palette, called Killer. And I'm going to use that as an inner corner highlight. I think we actually have an inner corner highlight shade in this palette. We didn't have that in the red palette. And that's, in my opinion, makes this one a little bit more versatile. And not to mention, it has light, mid-tone, and deep mattes. And that shade is so pretty. It's gold leaning with a green shift. I mean, so on my lower lash line, I'm first going to buff in that deep green that we used in our outer corner called Asylum. I am picking up very little because it's very pigmented, and I'm just going to buff that on my lower lash line. I'm going to stay really close to my lash line because I want to use one of those teal shimmers right over the top. That is the shade Haunted. That's that one that has a little bit of a black base to it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. I'm going to buff this right on top. That is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. You can see that it really tied in some of the teal shift that we have on the eye. This is so pretty. Let me go ahead and do liner and mascara, and I'll be back and we'll test out another color of blush and do our highlight. So I did liner and mascara, and I'm ready for some blush and highlight. So we're going back in to the Chest of Souls blush palette. Now we did use the red blush in the previous look. This time I want to use this kind of peachy pink blush. Part of me was like, oh, just use both of them, but that might be too much. Let's test out this one first and we'll kind of go from there. So that is really beautiful. I love it. It's bright and bold, but I think it pairs really nicely with the green eyeshadow look. The only one I haven't tested is this middle shade. I love that. I'm excited for that, but I really think that this blush is equally as beautiful as the red blush. And then we'll again use the Glamlite Rick and Morty highlight. Last time we used the shade Harmony. I kind of want to use the blue shade that we use as an inner corner because that'll pull in some of the blue and the teal shades that we used on the eyes. And that is the shade Uncharted. So I'm going to pick that up on my highlight brush. Oh, woo. She is bold. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but that is a bold, shimmery highlight. I'm actually going to use what I picked up on my brush on both sides of my cheek and then flip my brush over and just blend that out a little bit. I like to go down my nose, a little on my forehead, Cupid's bow. Definitely don't need to pick up any more highlight. That was plenty to do my entire face, but again, I think that is really pretty with the blue, with the teal in the eye look. It just kind of picks up that a little bit. This is a really nice highlight palette. I don't know if it's still available. I'll put all of it down below for you. So let me go ahead and just put my hair back up in a ponytail for the day. I have a lot of running around cleaning the house to do, so I'm just gonna throw my hair back up in a pony and I'll be back and we'll go over my final thoughts on the Glamlite Nightmare on Elm Street collection. All right, so let's go over my final thoughts on the entire Glamlite Nightmare on Elm Street, at least the pieces I picked up. First of all, this candle, I love it. I burned it a little bit yesterday. It smells amazing. It is so cherry and so yummy. I really, really love this. Again, the packaging is really nice. 10 out of 10. Also 10 out of 10, the lip oil. I have been wearing this nonstop and you can bet I'll be wearing this all day today as well because I absolutely love it. I love the shine. It's not sticky at all. It layers beautifully over a liquid lipstick all on its own. Really nice. So Glamlite, I hope you come out with more lip oils because it's also incredible. And then the Chest of Souls blush palette. I really like this. I love the red blush. Like I said, it's something different and unique to my collection. I love the blush we have on today, and this color in the middle is me in a blush. So I know I'm going to equally love that. I love blush palettes. I typically reach for them even more than single blushes. They're great for travel and you can mix and match the shades, blend them together. This is really nice. I love the packaging as well. They just killed it on the packaging. So first let's talk about the Dream Master palette, the one for the first eye look. I like this palette. There's things about it I really like. I love the silver shimmer. Like I said, it's probably one of the prettiest silver shimmers I have ever used. My only complaints about this palette is the range of depth of colors. Again, I wish we had a lighter matte to use in the transition, and I wish that we had a lighter shimmer besides the silver to do an inner corner highlight. That's just my personal preference though. But overall, I love this palette. This matte with shimmer, stunning. I love that there's grays in here and I love the reds. I can see myself reaching for this a lot during the holidays because it is such a good red palette. The only other small thing is I wish that this shade Midnight, the red shade, was a little more red and not berry red, but that's just a minor detail. I did really like this palette a lot. And then the Freddy Krueger palette, the packaging. I love the packaging. I love this palette. I love this eye look. I love everything about this palette, but I can never go wrong with a green leaning palette. I think it's stunning. And I love that there is more depth in the mattes. There's more depth in the shimmers. I was able to use this shade on my inner corner and it's beautiful. The matte swatched beautifully. We used almost all of the colors in here. Actually, we used all the colors except for Knives and Burned, which are these two right here. We used all of the other shades in this eye look and it's beautiful. I actually ran to get a coffee and 4 people complimented my eye look. That's how beautiful this palette is. I absolutely, positively love this. Honestly, I would say that I like this one a little bit more than this one, but again, they're both beautiful and I'm thrilled to have them in my collection. To my knowledge, all of this is still available and a lot of it may even still be on sale. So I will put everything down below for you. I will also put the Rick and Morty highlighter if it's still available and that discount code to save you 15%. I always use a discount code with Glamlite because 15% is 15%. Let me know down below which of the palettes was your favorite. Did you pick up anything from the collection? Let me know your thoughts on my eye looks and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Don't again forget to check out that description box. I'll link everything for you as well as my favorite beauty subscription boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today if you would like to recreate this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.